Hi, this is Dr. TAS and welcome to this edition of Transform with TAS. Our show is about taking that good food and transforming it into something that's a bit healthier. In addition to the food, I also speak with newsmakers around the world who are making a difference in their community. So today, we're going to change a little something that's different, and we're going to make it really, really nice. So I'm going to keep you in suspense until I come back. But when I come back, I'll have my hat on, and we're good cooking.
Dr. Teresa A. Smith, also known as Dr. TAS, Graves' disease and gastric sleeve surgery protein-focused home cook and talk show host, feeds your physical, mental, and spiritual body. Time to transform with TAS.
Well, we're back, and I'm going to tell you, I wanted ice cream. And of course, I don't normally have ice cream, so I thought, what's the next best thing? So I'm going to make a ice cream flavored Chaffle. Now, remember, Chaffles are made with cheese, and normally it's an egg. But what I like to do is to make it healthier is use egg white. So what I've done is I've combined about 1/3 of a cup of egg whites and about 2 ounces or a little less of salted caramel cream cheese. Also, I've added 2 packs of artificial sweetener and a little cinnamon, and also just a little bit of vanilla flavoring. A little bit, meaning about a tablespoon. And so I've mixed this up, and as you can see, the cream cheese has not melted down, which is fine. I'm gonna pour it in my waffle iron. Now this is a bowl waffle maker. So I'm gonna pour this in, and because this is a liquid batter, I'm gonna pour it underneath the fill line. Because I'm gonna tell you, as I jump back a little bit, it will overflow if you overfill. And I may have just the right amount, I hope so, otherwise we'll have a catastrophe on camera. But that's okay. That lets you know this is live. So I'm gonna close this down, and I've locked it in place. And so for my waffle maker, as long as the steam is still coming out, then it means that it's still cooking. And this will probably take about 3 minutes. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to go and secure one that I've already prepared so that you can see it. And then I'm gonna make sure all of my items are ready here. And when I come back, as you can see now, the steam is starting to rise. When I come back, we'll hopefully have a waffle bowl that is set and ready for us. And so we'll be back in just a moment.
Things happen in life, and your reaction dictates if you keep going or stay stuck. Dr. Teresa A. Smith, or Dr. TAS, had her future mapped out, but was stuck in an unwinnable situation. In her latest book, The Bounce Back, Dr. TAS looks at how she took control of the obstacles that kept her from attaining her objectives and is now focusing on her well-being first. Get tips from Dr. TAS on how to look after yourself. The Bounce Back from Dr. Teresa A. Smith, available now.
Well, we're back, but my shell is still cooking. And so if you look closely, you'll be able to see some steam rising. And so for my waffle maker, it's not ready until it stops steaming. So because it's still steaming, we're gonna go ahead. So I'm gonna slide this one to the left and let it continue to cook. And then we're gonna swap places. And this is one that I did earlier. And as you can see, it is in the shape of a bowl. And we were gonna use this one anyway because I needed for the shell or the bowl to be cool, and this one would have been too hot. So what we're now gonna do is, I told you I wanted an ice cream cone, but then I was like, now you know you can't be having ice cream. So what are you gonna do? So I've got my vanilla flavor there, I got my cinnamon, and so I thought, okay, well, let's make the cone, and instead of putting ice cream, why not just do fruit? So what I have in front of me is my fruit salad. And what we're going to do is we're going to combine it. So what I have are some Red Delicious apples. I've got some Granny Smith apples, some mango, and just a little bit of watermelon. And I've got some granola for crunch factor. So what we're going to do is we're going to assemble the fruit salad. So we're going to start with the Red Delicious. And because I only have a little small bowl, I'm just going to put a few pieces of the apple in here. Now, of course, we always put a little lemon on our apples to keep them from turning brown. And I did put just a little bit, and I should have put a little more, but we're going to put those Granny Smith there. My mango was not particularly ripe, but I think for what I'm going to be doing with it, it's perfect texture. So therefore, it will not become mushy. And then I had some watermelon because, again, I think it's so important to add fruit that has fluids, or I should say they're watery. So I thought, okay, we'll do the watermelon instead of kiwi because that would give me a different sort of color palette here. So what I'm going to do is, and I'm smelling my waffle. I'm just going to peek at it. Oh, it's still not quite ready. So I'm just going to stir this up. Okay, it's just going to stir this. And so what I did was, I'm like, okay, I just can't have a waffle with some fruit and no dressing. So what I did was I took the tagine and I added it and add just a little Italian herbs. And I added it to some drinkable plain yogurt. And I added just a little bit of lime juice. Now, if you don't have drinkable yogurt, all you have to do is just take some yogurt and add some milk to it and just thin it out. And then it's drinkable. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pour a little, just a little, to dress my fruit. Now, I'm chuckling because I'm like, do I want fruit with some dressing or do I want, what is the joke? Dressing with my fruit? I just don't know, I probably butchered that one. But we don't want to overcoat it because we are trying to be healthy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put just a little of each. Got some Granny Smith there, got some watermelon. Okay. Got to make sure we get some mango. Got some Red Delicious. Let's see here. Where's my little mango? There's some mango. Put a little mango here. And you can add as much as you're wanting. But what this makes is a beautiful, beautiful bowl of fruit. And you know, sometimes this presentation is everything. You know, I like fruit, but I like for fruit to be pretty. And so I'm just sprinkling a little granola. And here's my bowl. So this is a waffle cone Chaffle made with salted caramel, cream cheese, a little cinnamon, a tablespoon of vanilla flavoring, and I put a little dash of cinnamon. I think I've said that. And so then we made our fruit, and now we're going to try it. See what it tastes like. Now I'm going to cut into the actual bowl. And having the dressing helps to break down the bowl. So I've got watermelon in my cone. This was good. That salted caramel flavor is coming through. This is really good. And I tell you, you can always add more sweetener. You know, I didn't add any sweetener to our dressing, but you could add more sweetener to the dressing. I just used the yogurt and I just mix everything together. The tagine really gives it a little sweetness, a little salty. The Italian herbs, which have basil and oregano and thyme, really kind of play off all of the different fruit that we've assembled. This is really good. Now, this is not Mama's cup of tea, but you know, I gotta call Mama. So When I come back, we're going to be talking to Mom and see how she likes this. And I'll be right back. Hi everyone, welcome to my kitchen. Today I have Shanna Simpson with me. Now, Shanna Simpson is quite remarkable. She is a young lady who is paving her own way. Yes, she has a business background and she's been able to leverage her business knowledge to basically start her own brand, her own business, and it is just blowing up. She has added new merchandise. And so I thought, I want you guys to meet Shanna. I know her. She's good people, as we would say in the South. And so I want you guys to get to know her. So Shanna, say hello to the crowd.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much, Teresa, for having me on and for just taking an opportunity to want to even get to talk to me and know, ask me different questions about my background.
Well, thank you, Shanna. As I said, you are so remarkable to me. I know you because you work in taxes. So you're a full-time accountant, bookkeeping is your specialty. And so when I realized that you had sort of shifted and was starting your own business, of course, I'm thinking it's going to have something to do with finances.
Mm-hmm.
But it didn't. And I remember when I saw your business, and what you were doing, and I was like, oh, I want one. And I did place orders, guys. I want one. But then to see where you have expanded, it's been at least almost 5 years ago that you started your business, and you've gotten traction even through the pandemic. And so I thought, I need the audience to see someone who is forward thinking, who has not taken no for an answer, has not let the pandemic stop her progress. And the best way to do that was to invite you into the kitchen so we could get to know you and learn from you. Now, my audience has heard me say that you're an accountant. So tell us a little bit about your education background.
So I graduated from University of North Carolina with a business administration degree in business administration, concentration in marketing in 2005. And from there, I did minor in textiles products marketing because I always wanted to be a buyer in the fashion department. I have a love for fashion, which you'll find out later on how I incorporated that into my business. But that's where it started at. And I did dibble and dabble into the retail department, moving up, become a store manager in a couple of retail stores. And then eventually got back to what I was really good at, which is math. That's always been my best subject, and got back into bookkeeping and taxes, working for Elite Enterprises.
So you graduated from University of North Carolina at Greensboro.
Yes.
Business administration with a concentration in marketing, and you do look fly all the time. You guys will check her out on the social media. You're gonna see she's always fly and cute.
Thank you.
But it's the truth. And so, but you also minored in textile because you wanted to be a buyer.
I wanted to be a buyer. Actually, all 4 years of college, I worked at Nordstrom in Durham. So I would travel on the weekends back home to work at South Point Mall and at Nordstrom, worked there all 4 years. And then when I graduated, I tried, I moved up to the department I wanted to be in, and then actually got a better opportunity at, you've heard of Limited 2, which is now called Justice. I got opportunity to become a assistant store manager there. So I was trying to work my way up in the retail department. So, yeah.
Well, now I have to ask this question. You were making tracks, you were working your way up. Why did you decide to go strictly to the other side with the math? Because I know you said you're good in math, but why did you just really start focusing on that part of your career?
Well, the retail or the clothing or fashion side of business is very competitive. And though I was trying to I had my foot in the door, I couldn't get all the way up to where I wanted to. There's different programs you have to become a buyer. Like, for example, at Nordstrom, I wanted to become a buyer and just never got the opportunity to be placed into that department or move up into that, into buying. So I went a different avenue, and then I got an opportunity to completely change career paths and go into bookkeeping and taxes with Lee Enterprises. And so I just took a chance, left the retail department and came there. And I've been there since 2013 now, so full time. But speaking a little bit of background, my mom, who's Oni Parker, she has always had she's had her business. I'm actually, 7, 8 years old when she started her business. So I've always seen her in business for herself doing accounting and taxes. So I grew up around it. And actually in high school and in college, I used to help her out, do a little stuff, but didn't really get trained and stuff. So I went to college, took some accounting classes and stuff like that, and took some tax classes and whatnot after college. So that's always been in the background. Like I said, I've always been good in math as well too. So it's just second nature.
But also, you also had a role model who was an excellent entrepreneur.
Exactly.
So even though you just kind of step to the side for just a moment and worked in the business arena the more traditional way, because I think about it I think they say that you were accessing that left brain.
Mm-hmm.
Because left brain, I think, is supposed to be that analytical, methodical brain, but you still never lost that right brain, which is that creativity.
Mm-hmm.
Because when they look at you, in which we're looking at you, you see nothing but creativity. And even with the marketing, it's amazing that you've been able thus far to balance both sides of your brain, both sides of your talent, meaning the math part, as well as bring in the creative part, and then having a role model. As you indicated, you've been able to see someone who has had multiple businesses,
Mm-hmm.
and then continued, as one folded, continue with the other. And so most people, they know individuals, but they don't always pick up on the lessons that they're observing.
Mm-hmm.
If there was one huge lesson that you could say that you learned from your mom as an entrepreneur, what would that be?
My mom is a fighter. She's a go-getter. When she puts her mind to something, she finds ways to make it happen and she gets it done. And that's one thing I picked up from her. And that's something along the line. I've had other people tell me that I didn't even realize it until they said it. I was like, Shanna, when you say you're going to do something, you find a way to do it. And I do. And I get that from my mom, from Oni Parker. So if I got anything from her, is to be a go-getter and to find ways and resources to make whatever it is I'm trying to do happen.
Well, and obviously your mom is very successful, and you're very successful in your own right. You started a new business, or started your own business, I should say, and
Mm-hmm.
you're a go-getter. Your business, and I'm just speaking, folks, and I have to look to the left and look to the right. I don't know anything about her finances. I'm just an observer on social media. I know where she started, and she's going to talk about how she started and then where we are now. But for me, with the things that I do know, I can see your growth. I see the perseverance. I see the focus. I see you fighting to make it happen, and it is happening. So now let's just talk about your business and how the idea for the
Earrings.
got started.
Yes. That's actually it's not really like a wow of how I came up with my business, because I actually did not even know what I wanted to do. I always had a love for fashion. I always had a love for jewelry, but I knew I wanted to do something on the side besides doing my accounting. I had free time, but I didn't know. I went to a pop-up shop where there were a lot of different vendors there, and there was one particular vendor there who was selling wooden jewelry. I was immediately drawn to it. And at that time, like I said, I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do, and it just clicked. And I just said, that's what I want to do. I want to start selling wooden jewelry, which is how my business started. Went home, got on Google, which is my best friend, and started researching, where can I find wholesale jewelry from? Found a vendor, went ahead and ordered the products, ordered 60 pair to be exact, and about 4 or 5 different styles. Got them probably like within 2 weeks, laid them all over my table, took pictures, and posted them online. And literally within a week, no more than 2 weeks, they were sold out. And that's how my business started. The way I helped to differentiate myself, because like I said, I'm always thinking of ways of being different. I want to stand out from someone else because there's a lot of people who sell jewelry. So I said, okay, the way I'm going to stand out is I'm going to allow my customers to be able to color customize their earrings instead of painting them myself, putting them up there and okay, you can select from the selections I have. I allow them to color customize them. And it just grew from there. And I just added on product lines every year based on the things that I like, because my business is a reflection of my style and the things that I like. So you'll find an array of different things on my website, and it's consistently growing. I have probably over 200 items in inventory, well over 200 items. And like you said, I just recently added clothing at the end of last year, in October of last year, because I love to thrift. So
now you're saying you love to thrift. Now, where are these clothing coming from? Are you getting them? I mean, help me to understand, because you say thrift. Where are they coming from?
So if you're referring to what you see in my pictures, I do buy from a lot of resellers who thrift themselves. So there are a lot of, the thrifting community is really, really big and really supportive. I'm on Instagram. I follow a lot of thrifters and they go thrifting in different states, Texas, Florida, New York, Virginia, Georgia, all over the place. And so I order my personal wardrobe. I order a lot of them from the different thrifters. But what I resell and some of the stuff that I wear myself, I go thrifting at Goodwill. What are some other thrift stores I've been to? I'm trying to think. Living Free Ministries. There's one in Burlington and in Mebane. So, but literally I shop a lot of Goodwills.
So I'm going to start with the clothing, because this is all new to me about the clothing. I just saw that you had added it. So you're saying that, which is a smart business move. I just want to help the audience to understand what you've done. You said, first of all, you've added inventory based upon things that you like. And
exactly.
But with the clothing piece, because we're going to work our way backwards.
Okay.
You added thrift clothing based upon your ability as a buyer, work with me, who was not picked up by a large organization.
Yes, I'm with you.
And you took that know-how and you go out to Goodwill, Love and Free Ministry, other places, and you have the eye to see what customers, people like me, would want. And so you're buying those those clothings, and then you're taking care of them and all that good stuff. Okay. And then you're then repurposing them and selling them.
Yes.
What a unique way to take the skill set that you had that you didn't get a chance to apply because you didn't get into the Nordstrom program or whomever program. Yes. But you are now acting as a buyer, and you're a buyer for yourself, your business, and now sharing your merchandise with your customer base.
Look at this. I've never even had that twist and thought about it from that aspect, but you are exactly right. I'm buying for my business and then reselling it.
Oh, Shanna, I just love when I sit down and talk to folks like
yes.
This. I love it. Because you really are living your dream. You're living it.
Yeah.
You know, I don't really see it the same way with the earrings, but then I didn't know all this before either. But it's very clear with the clothing. So you weren't able to do it the traditional way, but you're doing it the non-traditional way now. So for folks who are into the money, what that means is she cut out the middleman.
Exactly.
She is all man. She buys the merchandise. She ships the merchandise to her customers. So there is no markup. You know, there's going to be a little markup, but there's no real markup because all of the revenue comes to her. So I want you to understand her business plan, which I've not looked at her business plan, but I want you to understand how just as she has found her niche, you can find your niche and just start small. Because now we're going to swing back to the beginning. So you started with the earrings, and how I came to know about it was I saw, we were talking and I was like, oh, you're doing earrings. And I ordered some butterfly earrings.
Yeah, that's right.
And so she made them for me and I told her the color. They were pink and green. You guys figured that out. They're pink and green. And so I gave them to my sorors because I was like, oh, they're butterflies. And I'm all about change. And it just was resonating with me. And then I got to customize. And then from there, Shanna, you kept adding more stuff on. Now, talk to us about all the stuff that you added on once I got my jewelry.
So, of course, the different types of earrings. I started with wooden jewelry. And since then, I've added a lot of different other types of jewelry as far as geometric. This is how I customize my website. Novelty earrings, like what you're seeing I have on, which, they're Rubik's Cubes that actually work. And I started making button earrings. So I make those with different fabrics. But besides earrings, I converted some of those earrings into rings. So I started selling rings. I sold fedora hats like you see up here. So I'm the type of person, if you ask me where I get something from and there's a way I can sell it myself instead of, like you said, I take out the middleman, then I'm going to do that. So I started selling fedora hats because I have a love for fedora hats. Hair wraps, I'm naturalista, as you can see. And so I do wear head wraps and different hair accessories. So I do sell those, worded hairpins. Let's see, what else? Oh, I used to sell t-shirts that I customized, but I've since discontinued my custom t-shirts, but I do still sell t-shirts. They're more so revolve around the 90s music era. Yeah, Aaliyah, Biggie, stuff like that. So
now, because I'm trying to help those who want to go into business. Why did you decide to discontinue your custom t-shirts?
That is a very competitive market. I'm the type of person where if a lot of people are doing it, then I'm going to go move into something else where you don't see a lot of it or it's not as popular because I don't mind competing. There's nothing wrong with that. But if I can find a niche somewhere else and just help grow that to where, I don't really see people really doing that like that, then I'm going to jump into that and let them go ahead and have, that other market. So that's where I was finding was a lot of people doing the custom t-shirts where they literally allow you to make whatever it is you wanted to. I had a middle person because I don't have a heat press. So I had to go through someone else. So the markup was there and I just discontinued them. That's the reason why.
And I asked that, thank you, Shanda, because I want people to understand it's okay to change your path. You were having success with all the other things and you were having some success with the t-shirts. But then as time went on, you realized, oh, this is not going to be profitable for me. So if I can't make the profit that I need, because you didn't want to overly, you don't want to price out your customer. So then you understood as a business owner, okay, I'm going to discontinue this. And so again, for the audience, I want them to understand it's okay to make a sound business decision to shift from one way to another, because again, it's all about your niche. And I like the fact that you said there are a lot of people doing custom shirts. There were people already doing wooden earrings because that's where you walked in and was like, oh, this is what I want to do. But they weren't doing it the way you were doing it.
Exactly.
We're not doing it the way that you were doing it. Now, we know that you've got a whole lot of merchandise, and I know that you're doing really well with that. But then the next phase is you found your niche. How do you market your materials, your items to the general public? How do you do that successfully?
And that's still, I'm always learning. That's always a work in progress as marketing. So my first thing when marketing was who was my customer base, because you can just put stuff out there all day long, but if it's not getting in front of people who are going to buy your stuff, it's a moot point. It's not really going to help. So my thing was, okay, who it is that I'm marketing to? I'm marketing to me. So, women who, I'd say a good 99% of the people who buy from me are females and they're African-American women. So that is my market. Ladies who like to stand out, who like to be bold, who like color, who like different. That was my market. So I started there and I started a business Instagram page. I started a Facebook business page and I joined groups on Facebook that I could find my market at and then advertise there. So I do pay for Instagram ads sometimes, as well as I do vending events as well too, where I know my market is going to be there. And that's another way I advertise. I always wear my accessories everywhere I go. I'm always passing out business cards. I'm not a seller. that is something that I do not like to do, is just to go up to people and sell stuff. My earrings and stuff speak for them and they sell themselves. So if you're going to ask about it, okay, oh, I actually sell these. Here's a business card. That's how I do things. So, but I'm always thinking of different ways to advertise as we speak.
But it's working though, because as you said, you understand who your audience is.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes that's the hardest thing to really pare down to. And I think for some of us, we want our audience to be someone else, a different demographic,
Mm-hmm.
rather than accepting who the audience is. And your audience really, and I'm gonna kind of characterize it, but you correct me. It could be anyone, any age. Let me say that first of all.
That's correct.
It won't get me. But it could be anywhere from, say, 13 really to about 70,
Exactly.
75. Because at different times I want to wear different things, different occasions. So I'm going on vacation and I'm natural, but not that type of natural. I may want, if my hair was like that, they would say, yeah, you need a wrap. Because I wouldn't be able to do nothing with it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm on vacation, so it's like I need a head wrap. I may want bigger, more flashy earrings. I want more vibrant color. Well, it doesn't matter that this age or that age. I'm your target audience at that point. And so understanding that, and then being astute enough to know that you're your own walking advertisement.
Mm-hmm.
Every time you go out, every time you post something on social media, even on your personal pages, you're your own walking ad. So why not flaunt it?
Exactly. Exactly.
And you do flaunt it well. Always fly.
Thank you.
And so now I got to ask this, because folks do sometimes want to know, is it really worth it to do like the Facebook ads or the Instagram ads? Can you trace back to see where those advertisements actually generate a sale for you? Or let me put it a different way, generate enough sales that it pays for the actual ad?
So I've done at least it's been less than 10 ads that I've paid for. And how I do it is I set a budget. I don't spend a lot of money. Each ad I'd say is about $30 to $35, and I run it over a span of a week. And when you do that, they tell you potentially how many people that it could reach. So I've had ads where all I got was followers. It got likes, so it got there. I could see how many people saved it. But I have had ads where people literally did make a purchase, and I could tell because you can see who liked the ad, and it tells you that this person was, found you through the advertisement, and then I go see their name on the order. So not every advertisement I get sells, but every advertisement has put me in front of someone who I was not in front of. And believe me, you might not get a sale today, but maybe a month later down that ad, that post that they saved, they're going to go back to and they're going to come back and buy from you. So it's definitely worth it.
And $30 to $35, that's a lot of money. And then it's not a lot of money, but I do realize it's a lot of money because sometimes people don't have extra cash that they can that they can utilize. But as you said, at least you're getting additional followers, because followers are very important as it relates to social media, because that opens up other doors for you. So I like the fact that you're saying that, yes, you can trace the individuals who bought, the individuals who are now following you from the ads, and you've only done about 10 ads, and your business still has been expanding. Now, you talked about you do vending opportunities also, because there could be someone that may want to have vending opportunities that may be coming up. So as a vendor, and I've done vending, how do you set your table apart from other folks' table? Because there's a lot of people there, and you got to stand out in some kind of way. How have you managed to do that?
Well, one, I have a cohesive theme. I have black and white striped tablecloth. Now, that is now becoming, a thing. I've seen quite a few people who have black and white striped tablecloths, but a lot of people don't. They have just a generic black. So that's a standout. I do have my banner that's behind me that, I have sometimes at my events if it's large enough. And then I have a cohesive gold theme that all of my fixtures that I put my earrings and stuff on is all gold. So they said, I've had people literally try to buy stuff off my table just to displays. I'm like, no, they're not for sale. But my earrings, my jewelry, the stuff that I sell basically stands me out. I mean, they could say, oh, we're going to have nothing but jewelry vendors here. Okay, still sign me up, because they're not going to sell what I sell. And if they do, they're not going to style it the way I style it. So, you have to believe in yourself. So vending events is an opportunity to literally put your face in front of people and out of, social media and the computer, and they, put the company put your face with your company in person. That's what I'm trying to say. So it's a way of meeting your followers. I've had a lot of people come up to me, oh my God, I follow you on Instagram, follow you on Facebook. I've bought from you. I've had people come up to me, tell me they bought from me. And it's an amazing feeling. I love vending. I absolutely love vending. It's probably my favorite part of being in business, or this business.
And that's probably the toughest part too for those folks who've never done vending.
Yeah.
Because you have to organize all your merchandise, you got to get it sorted, then inventory it, and then you got to get everything packed up, get your van, all that stuff put together, and then you got to travel wherever you're going to, then set it all up nice and pretty, and then have the energy left to then intermingle and sell to your customers. So to hear you say that you really, really like that part of it.
Oh, yes.
It's really good for the followers and other customers who may come along, and then my audience to understand that the part that may be sometimes the most taxing is the most rewarding.
Exactly.
You get a chance to actually touch and being face to face with the individuals who are actually buying your merchandise, and there's nothing like that.
It is not.
To affirm what you're doing. Now we've been talking about you got to tell us, how did you come up with the name for your business? Because we haven't even said what the business name is.
So the business name is Naturally Unique by SOS. Of course, SOS are my initials, Shanna O. Simpson. And then the Naturally Unique just comes from, because at first I was just selling earrings and I was trying to think of a name. I had help coming up with this name. What is it that I want to name my business, but I don't want it to just focus on just earrings, because I want to expand it eventually. And so Naturally Unique, because I'm natural, so that came out there, and I'm unique, and it just made sense. And I put the SOS at the end because there are other businesses who have that name, Naturally Unique. So the by SOS just differentiates it from everyone else.
Well, now we got to talk about the logo. Talk to them about how you came up with that.
So the logo is literally it's a shape of an afro, a woman's afro, that has my name, my business name in it. But we had this wooden, because like I said, I started with wooden jewelry. That is the basis of my business, is the wooden jewelry. And so I wanted to stand out. And so the person who did my logo, he actually came up with that wooden theme. I mean, we had dibbled and dabbled with different things, and he came back with this logo. He shot the wood on. He's like, what do you think about this? Like, oh, this is amazing. I didn't even think about that. And so he thought of it. And so it just stuck. It just made sense. And then we put the little earrings on the ends. I wish I had a picture of it. I don't know if you can see it in the back. Can you see it?
I can see. Yeah, thank you. Yes, now they can see it better.
That's my logo. Yes. And I absolutely love it. So every time you see it, that's my business, and it's trademarked. So I got it trademarked last year. So I know.
Because that took some time and some work, and it is very unique. So I'm glad that you were able to get it trademarked. And ding ding, guys! Now you heard her say she got it trademarked. So there are things that you may want to get trademarked as you're moving forward in your businesses, because you need the protection. That's what trademark protects you. Now, Shanna, if you were going to reflect on all the things that you've done, and you've done a lot. We now know that you worked in retail. We know that you were helping your mom during the summers, in between after school, and then when you were in college, all of that. And now you have your own business. And she looks like a little girl, guys. I know that. I'm not going to tell you her age, but she looks like a little girl. But she's not quite a little girl, but she's still a little girl. She looks like a little girl. If you could tell yourself the young woman that attended UNCG, University of North Carolina in Greensboro, who was taking her business administration courses, was concentration in marketing, but then did a minor in textile. If you could tell that young, bright-eyed, the world is her oyster, young woman, anything, what would you tell her?
What would I tell her? One, I would tell her, don't take yourself so seriously. Enjoy life. You have a lot of time to figure out what it is that you want to do, because I thought after college, I need to be in my career. I need to be doing it. And I really didn't. I really thought I knew what I wanted to do, but I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I didn't even know I would be in this area of my life. I didn't know I'd have my own business. I thought I would always be working for someone else, which I am. I never thought I'd be working for my mom. I never thought I'd be in the tax business. But I would tell her, just enjoy life and do what makes you happy, because you're going to be working for a while. Even if you're not making money, that's part of life, is working. So if you're going to be doing something that takes up a chunk of your life, enjoy it.
And so don't take yourself so seriously.
Yes.
You have a lot of time to figure it out.
Yes.
And so I'm gonna say that don't get married to something and make yourself feel bad if you change your mind. Because
Exactly.
Sometimes we start down one career path or whatever, and then when we want to change, we feel like, oh, people are gonna think this about us, or oh, I let myself down. It's okay to change your mind. And then, as you said, enjoy life, do what makes you happy. Now, you have excellent genes, because I know your mother. You got excellent genes. But the work-life balance, because here it is, you work a full-time job.
Mm-hmm.
And your business is growing, which we're going to say, thank you, Jesus. Your business is growing. How do you balance the two? Because you're talking about enjoying life. How do you balance that?
Well, working for your mom has its perks. Now, we do have a blackout season, which is tax season. So January through, usually it's April 15th, but these last 2 years, they've extended the tax deadline. But usually through April 15th, I'm working 6 days a week, 10 to 12-hour days. And so I get prepared for that mentally. But then after tax season, which is after April 15th through December, I work 4 days a week. So I'm off Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. So, and essentially to me, my business, even though my business, Naturally Unique, is a business, I don't look at it as a business. It's fun to me. I enjoy working at and doing the different vending events and traveling, because I'm traveling too as I'm doing these events. I've done events in South Carolina. I've done events in Virginia. I'm trying to branch out. I've done a earring paint party in Florida. So yeah. So my business is not really work to me. It's fun. But I do make time. I make time to have fun and have a social life. I definitely have a social life.
Oh yeah, you definitely be getting around. I know that. I'm just trying to figure out how you do it. But I like the fact that when you guys are not in the blackout season, that you're 4 days a week. Now, is that 8-hour days or is it 10-hour days, 4 days?
No, it's 9 to 5.
Oh.
Yeah.
So
Monday
now for the audience like me, what she's telling us is that they go hard in the paint from January to April or whenever the tax season ends.
Yes.
After that, they take care of themselves and they work 4 regular 8-9-hour days, depending upon how you do lunch and breaks and things of that nature. But they work 8-hour days and then they're off. And I'm assuming that when you guys leave the office, you don't take the tax stuff home in your brain.
Okay. In an ideal world, you don't, but no, I do answer. Sometimes I do answer people's emails at home. I am on salary, so I mean, I'm always working.
Because we need to hear that.
Yeah, I mean, because I do have bookkeeping clients that I tend to weekly, and so they're there and they rely on us. So if it's something important, I do check those. But I say I rarely do that. I mean, maybe 10% out of 100%, I'm going to send emails from home. So yeah, when I leave, typically I leave taxes and the tax office and I come home and get on Natural Unique. So that's
And,
always with me.
and of course, when the people come in, they're like, "Oh, you look so cute today." Now, how'd you get this stuff? Because you just the combinations that you put together are just like ah. And to know that, because I love a fedora, I didn't know that you had the fedoras because you like fedoras, and that makes so much sense. You like it, so as you said, as I've said, you're your own walking advertisement.
Mhm.
So walk and advertise the things that you like, because that means when people look at you, you radiate joy, happiness, because it's things that you like, which
Exactly.
makes you an excellent salesperson. Well, Shanna, I'm just trying to think if there's anything else I want to just bring out for someone who is budding. I do want to bring out one thing because I would be remiss if I didn't ask this question. Your mom is an entrepreneur,
Mhm.
and I've known her for quite some time, and I know she's always expanding her business, and she does really well. Have you given her some advice though?
She gives me advice all the time. I'm always running stuff by her. But yeah, sometimes she comes and asks for my opinion about things. Um, just from a different perspective. I think we always could help each other out. I know she has a whole lot more experience on me than I do, but like I said, a different perspective, things have changed. There are some things I might know a little bit more than she does as far as, maybe in the with social media. I mean, I'm the one suggest let's get Lee Enterprises a Facebook business page.
Okay.
And so she's since got off Facebook. And so I'm like, okay, well, we need to reopen that back up because a lot of people find us on Facebook, believe it or
Yeah.
not. I've advertised in a Mebane group. I mean, that's how a lot of people find us. So stuff like that, you know, I try to put my 2 cents in, but she's always innovative and she's always finding stuff. So she really, doesn't need my opinion about a lot of things.
But you do give her advice though.
I do sometimes. She
Okay.
gives me way more advice. But there is something I do want to point out too, with anyone who's wanting to have a business or start things out, or you got to always think of ways of innovating and changing. Can't consistently do the same things all the time because your customers might get bored, or your competition is going to start doing other things too, because it's always going to be competition. But always think of ways to expand your business. And that's what I've been doing with mine. I started with the wooden jewelry and then added on to it. And that just not only increases revenue, but it increases your client base because someone might not wear wooden jewelry, but they wanted some clothing. Everybody wears clothing. People love hats, so always think about that. And I just recently, like I mentioned, I do the earring paint parties now. So that's a whole different avenue with my business, but it still fits in because I paint my jewelry. So I thought, why not allow my customers to be able to paint their own jewelry as well too, but in a setting surrounded with family and friends, whatever, it's good for a girls group to do anything. So that's something I'm trying to grow right now.
Well, thank you for coming back to that, Shannon, because I wanted to know what your earring paint part, because you said you've gone to Florida and you've done that.
Mhm.
Tell us a little bit about what those sort of events are, because people may be interested.
So earring paint parties, think wine and design.
Yeah.
So it's almost in that same aspect, except you take lightweight wooden jewelry that you get to pick, and I have over 30 different paint colors, and I have the drying racks, you have the earrings, you have the music, you have some wine or whatever it is you want to bring. I've brought food and stuff, and then you just have a good time and paint your earrings, let them dry, and then you have your own artwork that you create that you get to wear so everyone can see it.
Oh, I love that concept. Now, let me ask this, because the audience is going to want to know. Um, does that mean that all the participants, we could pick our own earring, so it doesn't have to be that my earring is the same as your earring?
Exactly. It's whatever I have in stock. Now I do private ones. So if you let me know in advance, if there's something that you want, I may be able to get that, but I have to have time to get that. But typically, I bring all the wooden jewelry that I have in stock, set it out for display, and then you could just choose, which pairs you want to paint. So.
I love that idea. And I like the fact that it can be different from other folks because
Exactly.
different things look good on different people. We've got different
Exactly.
tastes. So I
Exactly.
like that. That's really like a customized earring paint party.
Exactly.
Hmm. Well, you guys, you heard it here first. Um, Shanna has just about anything that you're interested in. And if you don't think you see it there, just let her know.
Just
She
let me
may
know.
be having it come down the pipe because she is very responsive to her clients. Shanna, thank you so much for coming by my kitchen today and sharing, how you got to where you are and how you're balancing your day job, your
Mhm.
government job with your real passion, and how you really truly playing to your strength as a mathematician, but also using the skills and knowledge and education that you gain and that desire to work in the fashion industry. You're using that also, and so you kind of got the best of both worlds. So thank you so much for dropping by the kitchen today. Also, tell my audience how they can stay connected to you.
Thank you, first of all, for, like I said, inviting me and making this so much fun because I was really nervous. I do not do a lot of interviews. So thank you so much for making this really easy and fun. But to reach me, I am on Facebook, Naturally Unique by SOS. I'm on Instagram, naturally underscore unique underscore by underscore SOS. And then I have a website, naturally unique by SOS.bigcartel.com.
All right, then. Well, Shannon, you'll have to come back because I know that you're constantly adding things to your merchandise. And I love the idea of the earring paint party. I know great things are going to continue to happen. So you keep us abreast of what you've got coming. And we'd love to have you back in the kitchen so that you can update us.
I would
Okay.
love it.
All righty, then. Thank you again for being with me in the kitchen. Until next time, you take good care and all the best to you as your business continues to expand.
Thank you so much.
And we're back. Now, I must tell you that while we were at break, I did put a little more dressing on my fruit bowl because I did want fruit and dressing. And I got Mama on the phone. Now, Mama, let me tell you what I just got through making. I made a Chaffle ice cream cone with egg whites, salted caramel cream cheese, vanilla flavoring, and of course I had to put 2 packs of artificial sweetener. And it's really good, but instead of putting ice cream in my Chaffle ice cream cone, I decided I was gonna do fruit. So I have a fruit medley. I've got Red Delicious apples, I've got Granny Smith, I've got mango, and I've got watermelon. And so I made a dressing for my fruit. And my dressing is made out of drinkable yogurt, some Tajin seasoning that you put on fruit, and then some Italian herbs, and just a little twist of a lime. And so it's really good. So I've got that in my bowl. And then I thought, okay, everything is soft, even though my fruit is firm with the exception of the watermelon. I'm like, you need a crunch factor. So I've got granola that I've put on top. So I just wanted to share this with you. I know you're not really big on a lot of fruit.
That's so true.
And everybody always wants to know, well, does your mama eat all this stuff? I'm talking with my mouth full now, Mama. I just put a piece of watermelon and a piece of my bowl. Because, guys, while I was at break, I added some more dressing, like I said. And do you think you would like this, Mama?
I don't think so. Oh, let me say now. I shouldn't say it so fast. Granny Smith is the sour apple, right?
Yes,
It
ma'am.
locks your jaws.
Yes, ma'am.
No, I don't like that. The granolas. I can eat 1 or 2, but I'm not crazy about them. And your base is your shocker, correct?
Yes, it's my Chaffle, and it's got salted caramel cream cheese, egg white, vanilla flavoring, and 2 packs of artificial sweetener.
That sounds interesting.
So it sounds
But now you know that that's good to you, though. You so you said it's good, huh?
I think so.
Okay.
I'm still eating.
I'm not gonna doubt you if you say it's good.
You know, as I told people, they can add more sweetener to the dressing. I just didn't put any. Does that sound better, Mama?
That sounds better.
So my dressing needs some sweetener, okay? And you can.
Sweetener.
And you can. All you've got to do, guys, is add some vanilla flavoring or whatever flavoring that you like to the sweetener, to the dressing rather. See, Mama got me talking about sweetener. And you can add some artificial sweetener to it. And all that's gonna do is add the flavor. That's all that it's gonna do. And you can even add some cinnamon to it to give it even more of a punch. But I hear what you're saying, Mama. You said this is not your cup of tea, huh?
That's not my cup of tea.
Okay. Well,
That's not my cup of tea.
okay. Well, maybe next.
Okay.
Well, that's okay, Mama. Maybe next time I'll have something that'll be more in line with what you like to eat.
Okay.
All righty then, Mama. We talk to you later.
Okay, later.
Okay, bye-bye. Mama trying to be hip. Later. What is going on with Mama? I don't know. But Mama's a hoot. I knew this was not going to be something that Mama would like. So that's the reason I didn't even consult her while I was putting it together because, again, you heard it. This is not her cup of tea. But it is really good, and you can adapt this however you want to adapt it so that it brings your favorite palate to life.
Are you tired of eating bland, boring, healthy meals? Well, imagine if you could indulge in mouth-watering recipes that are both healthy and flavorful. Now you can, thanks to Dr. TAS. In her new cookbook, Transform With TAS, Healthy Recipes, Dr. TAS reveals her secrets to transforming everyday recipes into wholesome, delicious creations. You'll enjoy your favorite comfort foods guilt-free without sacrificing flavor. Dr. TAS has not only made Southern classics delectable, but also turn them into protein-packed, nutritious powerhouses. With each bite, you'll be nourishing your body and satisfying your taste buds. Cooking healthy meals doesn't have to be a chore. It can be a joyous experience with bold, crave-worthy flavors. Dr. TAS shares her insider tips and tricks for crafting protein-rich dishes that will leave you wanting more. Don't miss out on this culinary adventure that your taste buds won't soon forget. Get your copy of Transform With TAS Healthy Recipes today.
So now if you want me to transform your recipe, you know what you have to do. You've got to send me an email to transformwithtas@gmail.com. Put recipe in the subject line. Make sure you include your first and last name and of course the recipe. And you never know when your recipe may be featured on Transform With TAS, where we are feeding our bodies healthy foods that are good foods, but kind of bad, healthy, good, bad foods. And we are feeding our soul. I hope that you've enjoyed today's interview and that you had a few nuggets that you can take with you and apply in your life. I hope that you'll consider the fruit salad and the Chaffle ice cream bowl. So until next time, consider the nuggets and consider maybe just dressing your fruit. You don't have to do the Chaffle. Maybe you want a new dipping sauce that you put your fruit in. This is really good. I think you're gonna like it. Don't pay Mama any attention. Until next time, take care of you.